Hey, awesome third graders. Welcome back to this week's Vocabulary Alley lesson. We are week 3, February week 3, not week 3 of Vocabulary Alley. So this week you got your host again, Mrs. Estes. So I'm going to roll y'all right into Vocabulary Alley. So remember, you have 10 new words, 10 sentences with them. You have to figure out what goes in the blank. All right. So before I share, I actually noticed that one of my words is already peeking out, so I don't want you guys to see it yet. All right, let's jump right in. All right, I pulled out a blank of hair when I caught my hair in the car door. What do you think goes in that sentence? Think about it. All right, I pulled out a lump of hair. That makes sense. A glob of hair, like a glob. If you pulled out and there was like a glob of hair in your hand, it got caught in the door of the car and you like had to pull it out of the door. That would not be fun if that happened, but it would be kind of like a glob or a bunch, right? Let's see what our word was. A clump. Some of you probably already guessed clump for the blank, but a clump means the same thing as kind of like a bunch or like a glob, right? So it's almost like a handful, if that makes sense. All right, let's look at number 2. All right, when I get angry with my sister, I lose my blank. You have 10 seconds. What do you think goes in the blank? And yes, guys, I do have Starbucks if you're wondering, because I know most of my students will ask me, Miss Estes, is that Starbucks? All right, let's take a look. When I get angry with my sister, I lose my mind. I lose my character, meaning you are acting not as kindly as you normally would. So your character has changed, the person you are in that moment. And again, some of you probably were already able to piece this together. Temper, when you lose your temper, you are not in the same frame of mind as you would have maybe rather been. You get a little bit more angrier. So it just means that you're not the character that you were just a few minutes ago, right? So you kind of get impatient with somebody. So you've lost your patience. You could also say that. All right, let's look at number 3. The boy's eyes blink when he is excited about going to Busch Gardens. They look like they're about to pop out of his face. I feel like I can just like hear y'all giggling over there about that one. All right, about 5 more seconds to think about what goes in the blank. All right, the boy's eyes popped out, right? Because if you look at the end of the sentence, it said they look like they're about to pop out. So the boy's eyes popped out or widened. I would have said widened, but I didn't put that one up here. So that would have been a good one. Bugged out, stuck out. All those make sense. Bulge. The boy's eyes bulged, right? They were big and wide. That's what that means. Or like a bulge might be like a something that sticks out. So whether it be somebody's eyes, or you might say, oh, I have like a little bulge on my hand, it might be like a little lump, something that sticks out, okay? Let's look at the next one. I can blank a basket by twisting 2 colors of straw together. 10 seconds. What could go in the blank? I can Now, most of you might say make a basket by twisting 2 colors of straw together. But some of these words that I chose go with the definition of the word that's underneath the rectangle. So lace, when you lace something together, or crisscross, like a crisscross, right? It's the best I can do with my fingers crisscrossing them there, or crisscross, crisscross. So the reason I chose those words was because underneath our word is weave. So I can weave a basket. When somebody is weaving a basket, they are weaving or lacing through the material or crisscrossing. If you've ever seen a weave basket, one of those, they kind of look like straw or wooden, but the material is interlaced would be another good word for it. All right, number 5. Please don't blank with your teacher about not being able to go outside for recess. Her decision is final. I like that sentence. All right, what do you think goes in the blank? Oops. All right, let's take a look. Please don't disagree with your teacher about not being able to go outside for recess. Please do not bicker, which means to basically argue back and forth. Please do not fight, which is kind of like bickering back and forth. You're kind of arguing with your teacher. And I use that word, the word several times. The word is argue, guys. So again, I bet you most of you have already said, please don't argue. You already guessed it. But to argue is to disagree or bicker with somebody. All right, number 6. I am the blank of my own book about sharks. I wrote it all by myself. What do you think goes in the blank? All right, let's see. I am the writer of my own book about sharks. I wrote it myself. If I wrote it myself, I'm probably the writer, right? I'm definitely the writer, actually. Or scriber. Now that is a bigger word that you may not know. I wanted to put it up there because they do mean the same thing. The word is author. So an author is somebody who writes, is the writer of that book, of a book. So if you were an author, you were the writer, and writers also are scribers. They write. So that's another word for you. So you can go ahead and put 2 new vocabulary words in your back pocket just from number 6 right there. All right, number 7, the tree started to blank in the strong wind. I hope it doesn't land on our car. What should go in the blank? All right, let's see. The tree, you might have said the tree started to tilt in the strong wind. The tree started, because if you've ever seen a storm happen with strong winds, sometimes you're like, oh no, that tree looks like it's about to fall over. It's just tilting, or it is slanting. There's another word up there for you. Or it looks like it's sloping. That's a slope. Okay, it's like a slant. Or maybe you said the word that's underneath our main vocabulary word, which is to lean. When something is leaning, I'm leaning right now. To lean is to tilt, to slant, to slope. That's what a lean, when something is leaning. It doesn't have to be a person. It doesn't have to be a tree. It could be any object, could be leaning, okay? All right, number 8. My brother is the blank child in my family. I'm older and my sister is younger. What should go in the blank? That's my cat trying to get into my office, guys. So sorry if you hear that pawing at the door. All right, so my brother is, if you probably already guessed this word. So I was trying to think of a different word that was not the word underneath here that would mean the same thing. I thought of the word medial. So you guys may not have thought of that. Somebody might have though. My brother is the medial child, meaning the medial child is the middle child. You're not the oldest, you're not the youngest, you're in between. So like in the numbers 1, 2, and 3, 2 is in between 1 and 3. So it's in between, or in between, I guess, could have been a good other word for it. So there's another vocabulary word, medial, means the same thing as middle. All right, number 9, Grandma sent me a blank. We picked it up from the post office today. I think that's another easy one for you guys. All right, so you might have said Grandma sent me a gift. Grandma sent me a present. Grandma sent me a box, because usually you're picking some kind of box up at the post office or some kind of package. Some of you probably already said package. If somebody's sending you a gift or a present or anything, and you have to pick it up from the post office, it's going to come in a package, whether that package be a box. It might be one of those envelopes with the bubble wrap in it. So a package is something that protects an object or something inside of it. All right. Number 10. So last but not least, the snake made a loud blank as it attacked the mouse. I heard the sound from across the yard. 10 seconds. See, look, I'm leaning my head. I'm using your vocabulary word here, guys. Leaning my head to the side. All right, so the snake made a sound or a sharp sound as it attacked the mouse. What do we call that sound the snake makes? That's a sharp sound. I think a lot of you guys know what that sound is, a hiss. Now, also another example of the word hiss is, for instance, if you hurt your leg and you go like that, that is also a hiss. So a hiss is not always something a cat does, like, or a snake does, like, it's a sharp, almost S sound. So even you guys might make it. Like I said, if you hurt your leg and you lean on it, you go, that is also considered a hiss. So I hope you enjoyed your vocabulary lesson today, brought to you by Mrs. Estes. I always enjoy coming at you, not live, but via recording. So until next time, guys, have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye.